turns deadly slick when a sudden downpour floods the course. Cheshire, England. Alton Park Circuit is home to the British GT Championship. The difficult course pushes cars to their limits, but after a sudden rainstorm overwhelms the track, race car driver Mike Newton cannot believe his eyes.
And at the start of the race, it was a bright, sunny day with lots of clear blue sky. But on about the second or third lap of the race, we could suddenly see some very, very dark black clouds, and we thought, no, perhaps that'll bring some showers in over the next couple of laps, and we were keeping an eye open for that.
Racing cars at speeds up to 220 miles an hour is challenging when a track is dry. But the abrupt downpour instantly turns the track into a menacing slate.
It went from a clear, bright, sunny day to within moments, completely undrivable conditions. I've never seen the conditions change so suddenly and so violently, and so little warning.
The result is terrifying.
When I crested the hill, there was just a wall of water in front of me. As the car hit that, it went from full grip to absolutely zero grip in just an absolute instant. The steering wasn't doing anything, the engine was dead, and I was just a passenger for the next 500 yards.
Newton's car hydroplanes at 125 miles per hour.
At the point at which we hit each other, it was just like a bomb going off. The force of the impact was absolutely huge.
The 3,000-pound car comes crashing in. The abrupt change in weather has put all drivers at risk.
Having run clear of the car and got myself safely behind the barrier, I turned round to see what was happening. And I could see the Viper coming down the hill, again completely out of control, and Steve Marshall trying to run away from it.
Race Marshal Steve Martin is clipped and sent flying upside down into the air, the car's bumper barely missing his head.
Luckily, the car was spinning, and I was flipped onto the ground quickly enough for the back end of the car to spin over my head, thus avoiding any serious injuries.
The moment at which it hit Steve, it was sickening, and I think it was fortunate that the car had already hit the barriers very hard once with the tail, and the back end of the car was actually folded up into the air. So when Steve fell over the bonnet as it scooped him over, I think he actually fell underneath where the tail of the car was up in the air. To see him back up on his feet, looking somewhat shocked, but making it back down and making his way safely behind the barrier, I think was a huge relief to all of us.
Martin survives the massive collision, but the danger is not over. More cars are still approaching, unaware of the dangerous trap the water has created. All told, 7 race cars are totaled in the crash. The situation causes millions of dollars in damage, and luckily, Martin is able to walk away from what could have been a very bad day.
The thing that sticks in my mind more than anything is when I briefly look round, that the image of that car spinning out of the mist. I have seen the footage once or twice over the years, and it doesn't get any easier with time to look at how close I came that day to not being able to walk out of the circuit on my own 2 feet. But luckily I did. The forces of nature that day were severe, but I was spared for whatever reason. And yes, very, very fortunate I can talk about it.